The best way to start your NFL Sunday. Welcome everybody back to Sunday Morning Slants. I'm your host Matt Watson, joined alongside Mason Green. How are you tonight, sir?
Pretty good, sir.
All right, love to hear. Week one of the NFL preseason has come and gone. We've got to see these teams in action for the first time, which is pretty exciting. But alas, the games do not count, and so we are talking about games that do count and will count as we continue to predict the 2024-25 NFL schedule. And so, in the last episode, we did the New England Patriots, and if you haven't gotten a chance to listen to that one or watch that one, make sure you check it out on YouTube or all podcast platforms at Sunday Morning Slants. And in that episode, spoiler alert, we determined that the Patriots would be going 3-14 this upcoming season. And what I saw in the preseason makes my picks feel much better, I think, after watching Drake May in his NFL debut. So tonight we're going to be taking on the team who finished in third place of the AFC East, the New York Jets. And obviously, the Jets season was kind of derailed 4 plays into the year by the injury to Aaron Rodgers. And so tonight we're going to see what the Aaron Rodgers led Jets can do this year. And so I'm going to pull up the NFL schedule predictor that we use, and we're going to get things going. So since there's only two of us, like we did last episode, if we have a tie, a coin flip will determine who is the winner. Mason went over 2 last week on the coin flip, landing the Patriots 2 of their 3 wins. So we'll see how the Jets fare tonight. So starting things off, Monday Night Football. A year after he gets injured on Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers returns, and this time he's on the road in San Francisco. So Mason, I'll start off with you here. Pretty great matchup to kick off, Monday Night Football and to end the first week of the NFL season. Jets Niners. Who do you like in this matchup and why?
Yeah, I feel like the NFL sets up these primetime games like really well in the start of the season, and then like week four, it's like, wow, nobody wants to watch this. But I think this should definitely be a good one. I'm probably going to go with the 49ers here, especially being at home. I mean, it's been over like it's almost been 2 years now at this point since Aaron Rodgers played football. So while I do think they have a lot of talent and Aaron Rodgers could still be playing at a pretty high level, especially with the weapons that he has around him, I think it's been too long at this point, and I think the 49ers are going to give him some trouble.
So this is where the first coin flip's going to have to come in because I think
Ah,
Aaron Rodgers is coming back his first game in years, and he is going to be on a man on a mission. The 49ers have notoriously been his kryptonite, I feel like, throughout his career, starting
mhm.
with the night where they did not draft him. And so I know the Niners typically give him trouble, but I'm kind of looking on the other side of things here, and I'm looking at Brock Purdy. I don't think he's going to fare well against what is considered to be an elite Jets defense. Even though Hassan Reddick has requested another trade and does not seem like he is going to be playing week one, I do think overall the Jets have an elite defense. And I just kind of think back to the game last year with the 49ers, what we saw against the Baltimore Ravens, who have a really great defense, and Purdy just kind of melted under the pressure. And with Brandon Ayuk's status up in the air, we don't know if he's going to be suiting up for the 49ers week one. So it lessens their offense. Christian McCaffrey got hurt in training camp, so he'll probably be ready for week one. But again, injury surrounding Christian McCaffrey. So I like the Jets in this one. I think they're going to come out swinging. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play great, and we're going to have to flip a coin here to decide who wins the week one. But here we go. So Mason, I will throw it over to you. Heads or tails for the New York Jets?
uh, so okay, so like if I pick heads and it's heads and the Jets win,
Correct. Yeah.
all right, we will go heads.
All right. Heads for the Jets, tails for the 49ers. It is tails. So the 49ers are going to start off the season 1-0. So running back over to the Jets here. 49ers start things off with a win on Monday Night Football. Mason finally gets that. Well, I guess I
I
did
guess
that
technically I
backwards.
still lost the coin toss,
Yeah, technically
but the
so.
team that I picked.
But your team won, yeah. I did that backwards, I guess, but that's fine. All right, so the Jets start off 0-1, and then they stay on the road, short week, and they head to Tennessee to play the Titans. I think this is the Jets win here. I like what Tennessee's doing in a sense. It's a new era of Titans football. They moved on from Vrabel. They've moved off of Derrick Henry. Will Levis looks like he's going to be their guy this year. They added Calvin Ridley, who had an iffy year last year in Jacksonville, but I think this is a game that the Jets should win. They have more talent on paper, and I think overall, this should be a game that they take home.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Will Levis will have some trouble against this Jets defense. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to start off the year 0-2 if they do lose this game against the 49ers. And I think they're just going to take care of business. Like you said, on paper, I think they're just a better squad all around.
All right, so the Jets get on the board with their first win of the year. And like we did in the last episode with the Patriots, we predicted the Jets would win on Thursday Night Football in week 3 against the Pats. So that brings the Jets to 2-1 on the year, and they host the Denver Broncos in week 4.
Mhm.
Last year, there's a lot of that Sean Payton versus the Jets controversy. Aaron Rodgers did not like the way Payton talked about Nathaniel Hackett, even though a lot of people feel the same way. The Jets and Zach Wilson went into Denver and beat the Broncos. Zach Wilson is now in Denver. Aaron Rodgers will get a chance to play in what I don't believe this to be a rivalry game, but it's kind of like a little rivalry here. Um, I will let you start since I am the Broncos fan here. I'll let you get the non-biased take.
Yeah, I think at home the Jets are probably going to take care of business here. I don't know who's really projected to be the starter. Do you guys have like a vet, or is it really like Zach Wilson and
We
Bo
have
Nix?
Jared Stidham, who is our
Okay.
quote unquote vet, but I do think Bo Nix is going to start week 1, so I think
Uh,
it's going to be the Knicks show. Do
hmm,
you believe?
I do not believe.
Yeah, I don't know if I do
Although
either.
he is lighting up in training camp, so if you put any stock in
Mm.
that, which I don't,
Yeah, no. What is it? 33. I think it was 33 touchdowns in training camp to like one interception.
yeah, it was something crazy. He's lighting it up. He's lighting it up.
He
But
did
yeah,
have a nice preseason game though. So,
did he have a
I mean, it's back.
turnover?
He did
I think
not.
I saw. Well, I guess it wasn't not on him. Was it technically a fumble?
I think you're referring to the Jared Stidham pick,
Oh,
the
was
ball that
it?
got the ball that P Ryan backed
Honestly,
up a few times and
yeah,
got
I
picked.
didn't. I just saw a tweet about it, and somebody just tweeted like "Bo Nix sucks" or something, but it might have just been like him tweeting it, like messing, like he knew that it wasn't Bo Nix, but just for
Well,
someone like me who
if
just glanced at it.
yeah, if it's the tweet I'm thinking of, I think they got what's the thing that Twitter does? Like the not the quality check, but they the back. Not
Yeah,
what's the
yeah,
thing I'm looking for? You know what
uh,
I'm. But they were
yeah. I
like,
know what
this
you're
is
talking
not Bo
about.
Nix at the bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. Yeah. He did throw a pass that could have been picked, but he also threw a touchdown that was dropped, so I call that even. But
Hmm.
I also think the Jets win. I will be at this game at MetLife, but I do not think it's gonna be a great day for me. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna have something to say, and I think for Denver. I just don't, I don't know how a rookie quarterback's going to fare against an elite defense. So I'll go with the Jets here, bringing them to 3-1 on the season. And the kind of same deal here. So the thing with the Vikings is they might have Sam Darnold start this game. They might have JJ McCarthy. Um, Either way, it's going to be tough for them. The Jets go on the road to Week 5 to play the Minnesota Vikings, where I think they get another win. I think Minnesota's going to be okay, but I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be great. I think Sauce versus Jay Jettas is going to be a fun matchup, but this is another game I feel like the Jets probably win.
yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's kind of the same thing with either a rookie or someone who's proven to not be very good in the NFL. Um, I mean, the one thing the Jets do, I mean, obviously they have a lot going for them in this game, but I think Aaron Rodgers is definitely familiar with this team. That being said, it has been a few years now. I guess 2 years. This will be the second year out. Um, so it might look a little different, but I think this is a team he's familiar with, and I think they just kind of outmatch them in general.
All right. So the Jets, after losing week 1, have rattled off 4 straight wins where they come home to host the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football. So
Mm.
another great Monday Night Football matchup. Obviously, it was Buffalo that was the team that injured Rodgers last year in week 1. The Jets did end up winning that game on that electric punt return. Um, so does Aaron Rodgers get his revenge against the Bills? Does Buffalo stick another one on him? This is a tough matchup. What do you think here?
So I'm gonna go with the Bills here, just because I do agree. Even though I did pick the 49ers in that Week 1 game, I do see your side of the argument, and I do think that they could win that game. And then they kind of have a cupcake schedule, and I really am looking to the next couple games. I really don't see the Jets starting off. What would that be like? Be 8-0. Like, so I
Yeah,
think they
yeah.
need. I think they need a loss somewhere. I mean, listen, the Eagles have started off really well. Like two seasons, 3 seasons in a row now, just ripped off. Like been like 10-1 in week 11. So like it's not the craziest thing, especially with the way the schedule's stacking up. But I'm gonna go with the Bills here. I think they end up splitting, and I think the Jets are due for a loss at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was gonna go Buffalo here. I like the split in divisions. I've talked about that various times, but no, it seems like the Jets have three, four really easy games for the most part. They're play. I mean, the Vikings, Broncos, Patriots, and Titans aren't playoff teams. Like most likely, maybe the Vikings slip in the NFC, but the rest of them are not playoff teams. And so you finally get another hard matchup with Buffalo. And not to say, oh, the Jets play two good teams, they're going to lose to two good teams, but I mean, these are matchups where things can go either way, and they're going to be tight matchups. Buffalo is a Super Bowl contender. The Niners were just in the Super Bowl, so it's not necessarily saying, oh, the Jets aren't good. But I do think in this division, they're going to split a couple of these games and this might be where they draw a line in the sand and suffer the loss here. But okay, yeah. So Buffalo wins a week 6. The Jets then head to Pittsburgh in week 7 to play the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Russell Wilson against the Jets, Justin Fields against the Jets. Either way, I'm picking the Jets. I don't think Pittsburgh, regardless of who plays at quarterback, I don't think Pittsburgh is going to be able to keep up with the Jets. Again, this is battle of two great defenses, so it might be a little low scoring. But if I'm just going based on talent on the roster on paper, quarterback wise, I think Aaron Rodgers gets the job done in Week 7.
Man, if Aaron Rodgers isn't washed, the Jets are going to be really good.
Mm.
I kind of get almost get the vibe of like Peyton Manning with the Broncos. Like this defense can just keep Aaron Rodgers in games, and then hopefully he can come through, and hopefully he's not like completely cooked. But yeah, either way, I think this is kind of that game. The Steelers don't really have that electric of an offense, and I think the defense is going to give them too many issues, and Aaron Rodgers is just going to be able to put up enough points to get over the hump here against the Steelers.
All right. And so then in week 8, we projected them beating the Patriots once again. So through 8 weeks, the Jets are 6-2, which is a great start. It's a team that should probably make the playoffs. I mean, the AFC is so loaded. And obviously, there's probably going to be a game in that stretch where they lose, where you said, how did the Jets lose that game? And then they might win one of the two between the Niners and Bills. So 6-2, I feels pretty accurate here. But then week 9, Thursday night football, they host the Houston Texans. And based on our results so far, this, a third matchup against a playoff team, I think this is one the Jets finally put away. They're at home. It's a short week that benefits the home team. Houston's a good squad, and I think they're going to do great things, but they aren't invincible by any means. And so I'm going to go with the Jets here in a tough game. I think they have to beat some playoff teams, and I feel like this is a game that favors them in that sense.
Yeah, I guess I agree with you. I was kind of leaning toward the Texans, but the more you talk about it, if the Jets lose like against those three teams, which like granted, like they're definitely tough teams. But I feel like at that point they're gonna be a little bit on fraud watch.
Hmm.
Like they're just beating up on a bunch of scrubs. They're kind of like looking like the Cowboys a little bit. So yeah, I'll go with the Jets at home on Thursday night. I feel like back when I used to do I guess I did the Monday night segment. Pretty much
Hmm.
like primetime games, you really don't want to go against the home team, is what I learned very fast. So I'll go with the Jets here.
All right, so the Jets are now 7-2 on the season, and then they go on the road to Arizona for a 4:25 matchup. Jets coming off a mini bye thanks to Thursday night football. Um, I feel as though this could be a Cardinals win. They
Mm.
just got up for that Texans game on Thursday night. Um, the Cardinals, I think, are going to be better than most people give them credit for, and I don't think they're going to be world beaters, but I think they're going to be better than they were last year, and they put up some fight last year. I think in the Patriots episode, let's see, was that one? Where are the Cardinals? So we did project the Cardinals to beat the Patriots. Yeah. All right. I want to just ensure how we had decided that one, but I think this might be an upset. I think this is one of those games you see on the schedule. You go, oh yeah, the Jets should beat the Cardinals, but they go on the road to Arizona. The time zone change is a factor. I don't think it's a big factor, but it's a factor. The Jets do have a little bit more time to prep for the game, so I guess that could off balance it a little bit. But this is the game I feel like the Cardinals could steal. I think they have an improving defense. Their offense should be better. Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison are two elite fantasy options for those who haven't started looking at their teams and stuff like that. And Kyler Murray is, he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but he's a serviceable guy, and I think he's capable of winning some big games. when you least expect it. So I think the Cardinals go for an upset here. Um, Mason, who do you like in this matchup? And are we flipping a coin?
We might be.
Mhm.
Hmm. I do agree with you. I think the Jets are probably going to end up dropping one of these games that you expect them to win. So I think one of the next two we see on the schedule here, they're going to drop either against the Cardinals or against the Colts. Um, yeah, I'll agree with you on this one because the Cardinals are at home. So yeah, I think based on these two games, I think they end up dropping one here. Um, so yeah, I'll agree with you. I think the Cardinals and the Colts can be kind of similar in terms of their record in the upcoming year as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say preseason, week one of preseason's everything I need to see, but I did watch Anthony Richardson for two series on Sunday, and I know these were his first game snaps since getting hurt last year, and I know he was very inexperienced heading into it. I believe he only had 13 starts in college, so, but just kind of watching it, I had thought higher of the Colts in my head, and then just kind of watching them play a little bit and looking at the roster, I feel like the Colts are a team that I'm going to be down on this season. I haven't really dove into Indianapolis. Obviously, we haven't done the Colts episode yet, but I don't know. I feel like the Jets are definitely a better team. I agree with you. They'll probably lose one of these two, and I think the Cardinals game is the one they would lose. So I would go with the Jets here. But I don't know. Like this isn't me trying, I guess, justify the Jets win as much as just talk about how I feel the Colts aren't going to be as good as I thought. But either way, I think this is a Jets victory here in Week 11.
Yeah, I agree. I don't because how many games did Anthony Richardson even play last year?
I want to say four, and
Like
they
he
weren't
did it.
four complete games. I think he got hurt in a couple and left early.
Mm,
So I don't think it was like a full, you know, complete game 4 weeks in a row. I think like I feel
yeah,
like I remember one game he left at halftime. Minshew played like,
yeah.
I could
Yeah, I
be
think we
wrong,
saw
but
maybe like some flashes, but I don't think he's gonna light the world on fire. Kind of similar, honestly, to Kyler Murray. So I kind of see both of those teams being like 8 to 9 wins and like fringe, like maybe that last wild card spot. Probably not for the Colts in the AFC, but maybe for the Cardinals.
yeah,
If
I
they,
think it's valid.
but yeah,
All right, cool. Yeah, so the Jets beat the Colts at home. Oh, that's a Sunday night game too. Interesting. I think that if anything favors the Jets even more. So through 11 weeks, the Jets are now 8-3. Um, they are, let's see, 7-1 in the conference, which is interesting. um, 2-1 in the division. Some of the other stats. If you're watching on YouTube and you're looking at this graphic, it's not fully complete. But okay, so we have a Week 12 bye, and then Week 13 coming off the bye, they will host the Seattle Seahawks and Geno Smith and or Sam Howell. But coming off the bye, a home game, West Coast team traveling to the East Coast. I think those external factors favor the Jets. I think the Jets are a better team than the Seahawks. I do believe that Seattle is a solid. I mean, they're a solid squad. First year head coach, but I'm gonna go with the Jets in this matchup. Um, if it is Geno Smith, if Geno Smith plays in this game, you could maybe build up the revenge game for Geno
mhm.
coming out and just giving it to the Jets after his history and background. But I kind of feel like Sam Howell might be the quarterback at this point. Like just what I'm seeing from training camp, and he's playing well. He played well in preseason. He started a lot of games for the Commanders, won some games, so that could be something to watch in Seattle. It's a new coach. He's not necessarily tied to Geno, but I like the Jets in this matchup. I think they're the better overall squad.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, not much to add. I think just on paper, they're just better in general, kind of top to bottom.
All right, so we had the week 14. They're on the road in Miami. And so just kind of previewing the last 5 weeks of the season here, they're all against what I consider to be playoff teams. Like
Mhm.
the Jets have a hard end to their season. So we talked about kind of that, the cupcake way to start. And through week 13, they're sitting at 9-3, which you're already at 9 wins. So you probably are making the playoffs at this point. But now the schedule gets pretty hard and they get some tough opponents here. So they head on the road to Miami. It's week 14. This is December 8th. It's a 1 o'clock matchup. So I'll start here. I think the Jets win this game. I do think they'll split with the Dolphins, and we can get to that second game later. I think the Jets win this game. Um, Miami is a team we talked about last episode, like likes to start hot and then kind of cools off as the season progresses. Injuries is a real thing with these guys. Um, but like I said, I think they'll split, and I for whatever reason I like the away win for both teams. So if the Jets were home in this one and Miami was visiting, I would have gone Miami here. But I just kind of like the semantics of a 1-1 split on the road. So that's why I'm taking the Jets in this one. But overall, I think it's a pretty even matchup.
Yeah, I agree. The Jets get a little nice Florida vacation here, back to back weeks. I'm gonna go with the Jets just to because I think honestly this game is a coin flip, so that's what we're gonna bring it down to. But yeah, I don't know. I think these are two pretty evenly matched teams in a division. I mean, the AFC East is going to be pretty great, except for it's kind of funny that the Patriots dominated for like a decade and now they're just absolutely bottom of the barrel. But yeah, I kind of agree. I think they probably split, and that last game probably matters
I think it does.
at least for one of the teams to probably get into the playoffs. So I think they'll probably be playing the starters of both teams in there and that game, week 18. But yeah, I'll go with the Jets here and we'll flip a coin.
Well, I also picked the Jets. So
Oh, I thought you said Miami.
no, I like Miami for the next game is what.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, then we'll just go with the Jets.
yeah. Well, and I think the Dolphins will win that Week 18 matchup. So if we're doing the split there,
Yeah,
that's
that works.
how it breaks out. So okay, Week 15, like you had kind of mentioned there, they stay in Florida to play the Jaguars. Um, see, I don't know how I feel about Jacksonville. Like this is more about how I feel about Jacksonville than I do about the Jets at this point. Like they've been a 9-win team last couple of years. They had the hero run 2 years ago, and then last year they had the collapse, and they kind of just they finished in the same spot. I think Doug Peterson's coaching for his job at this point. He needs to have a good year in Jacksonville. It's gonna be hard with the Texans in division. Um, I don't know. I'll let you go here because I don't know how I feel about this one.
I think I'm gonna go with the Jets here. I just think the Jags just kind of plateau. Like I see their max, like their ceiling at like 11 wins if they like really show out this year and Trevor Lawrence somehow takes a step. I mean, he's in year like what, like 4 or 5 at this
I think it
point.
might be year 5.
Like it's kind of like getting to the point where it was supposed to be like God's gift coming out of college, and we're still kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. Um, but yeah, I'll go with the Jets here. I think it might be a close game, but I just think Jacksonville's been a team that when they play against playoff teams, they haven't really performed in past years.
All right, I think I'm gonna go with the Jets here too. Um, And I think I might be letting the rest of the schedule speak to me versus that actual outcome. I do think they're better than Jacksonville, so it's not hard for me to sit here and say they'll beat the Jaguars. But just coming down late in the year with this tough stretch, that could determine things. So, all right, they beat the Jaguars in Week 15. Week 16, they host the Los Angeles Rams, and I think the Rams win this game. I I was high on the Rams last year. We did buy one, sell one, which we will be doing for those who have not ever listened to a buy one, sell one episode. It's basically our NFL stock game. And so I bought stock in the Rams last year. Well, they were only projected, I think, like 6.5 wins, and I took the over on their wins, and I said they would win a playoff game. I thought very highly of the Rams last season. And even with Stafford not staying healthy, they still had a really good year. And I'm banking on him to stay healthy this year. If Jimmy G has to play, they're cooked. But if Stafford has a full year with Cooper Cup, with Puka Nakua, I just think the Rams are kind of back to the team they were a few years ago. And I really like Los Angeles in this matchup. I think this might be a very high scoring game, despite the good defense with New York. But I'm going to go with the Rams win here.
Mm. What do we have them at right now?
If we include Week 18 versus the Dolphins, 11-4. If we're not including that Dolphins loss, they're 11-3.
And the Jets are at home in this game.
The Jets are at home.
It's interesting. I don't know how 12 or 13 wins. I guess I'll also go with the Rams here. These last 5 games are really tough, honestly. I could
Mhm.
see any of them going either way. But yeah, I'll go with the Rams. I think I see the Jets kind of more of as a 12 win team, I guess, than 13. And I think based on what because we had the Bills win before, right?
Correct. Yeah, and I was gonna go
Yeah,
for the split. So
yeah. So I think they
okay.
split, and I see them. That's where or about where I see the Jets is probably 12 wins.
Yeah, so a 12-5 record I think is very fair. I mean, they're in the AFC. They have a very tough division with Miami and Buffalo. I think it's safe to say that they probably split in those games. Um, yeah, I mean, and then they play. Let's see, they play what they play the full AFC South, which is going to be a solid division again this year with the Texans, probably the Jaguars, and maybe the Colts and Titans win a few games. I'm not too sure there, but okay. So the Jets are 12-5. At this point, with our predictions, they would be in first place of the AFC East, with the Patriots being 3-14, sitting in last place. So just kind of doing a league recap. We have the Packers, Lions 1-0, the Bears 2-0, Vikings 0-2, Niners and Cardinals 3-0. So look at the Cardinals. They got some wins on the board here.
They're stacking
Rams
them.
2-1. Yeah, no, let's see. We have the Cardinals winning against the Commanders, the Jets, and the Patriots. So, uh, Cardinals playoffs. You heard it here first. Uh, Rams 2-1, Seahawks 1-2. We did the NFC East with the Eagles 12-5, Cowboys 10-7, Commanders 7-10, Giants 4-13. The Bucks and Falcons are 2-2, Saints 1-3, Panthers 0-4. We finally break into the AFC West. The Chargers 1-0 from last episode, and the Broncos 0-1. Raiders Chiefs have not had a game yet. Ravens 4-0, Bengals 4-1, Browns 2-2, Steelers 2-3. And then as the result of the East so far, the Dolphins 3-1, Bills 3-1, Jets 12-5, Pats 3-14, with the AFC South looking like the Texans, Titans, and Colts at 1-2, the Jags at 0-3. So that is how we have things shaking out right now. Honestly, I think 12 wins for the Jets might be our best prediction so far. But if
Yeah,
we're
I
just
agree. That's right where
just
I
looking
see.
at it,
I think the start of their schedule is really going to help them out. I mean we've seen how much of a dumpster fire the Jets are, especially with the news that came out today. So I think stacking those wins is going to help them keep in it. If not, then I think you're going to see players like get upset and things start to unravel. So I think the way their schedule is set up, if they had to like that gauntlet at the end, I'll call it a mini gauntlet against those five playoff teams at the beginning, I think they would be struggling and they'd be probably closer to 10 or 11 wins. But I think stacking them early
yeah.
is going to help them out.
Yeah, I agree. I think the schedule favors them in many ways. And it all depends on Aaron Rodgers, really. He's the crux of the whole thing. But they look decent without him. I think Zach Wilson is not an NFL quarterback. So had they had like a Tyrod Taylor or like a Jacoby Brissett last year, they probably make the playoffs.
Mhm.
But they just didn't get that quarterback play. So, all right, yeah. Thank you all for listening to this edition of Sunday Morning Slants. We'll be back next with the Miami Dolphins and their prediction episode. Make sure to go back and watch the other episodes to see how we determine some of those records. And yeah, thank you for listening and have a good night.